Us here this Monday night. We begin this evening with Utah's bid to take over control of nearly 19 million acres of federal land.
The U.S. Supreme Court rejected the state's lawsuit. Our Southern Utah correspondent Cannon Sechrist is tracking reaction and what happens next.
Utah's push to gain control over millions of acres of federally managed land has stopped for now. The Supreme Court declined to hear the case filed last summer, a decision celebrated by conservation groups. The state argued that local management would provide better oversight and address issues like forest fires and resource use. However, environmentalists warned that Utah's lawsuit could pave the way for privatization and resource extraction.
Well, it's an exciting day. At its core, that was really seeking to undo the Western system of federal lands. There are hundreds of millions of acres of these lands across the Western United States and Alaska that, had Utah succeeded, would be in the crosshairs for really sale to the highest bidder.
Utah House Speaker Mike Schultz, however, says the fight isn't over as the state explores other legal paths.
We knew it was a little bit of a long shot in asking to go directly to the Supreme Court. More than likely, I think you'll see us just work through the normal process and just file a lawsuit in federal courts and see where that goes.
Schultz also criticized the management of federal lands, saying the current system has left Utah vulnerable to wildfire risk.
You look at what's going on in California right now, Utah is primed in many areas to deal with to end up with some of the same things because they're not actively managing these areas.
Conservation groups, including the Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, disagree. They call the decision a win for the protection of Utah's iconic landscapes.
We know the Utahns care about federal lands, and it's the reason why so many of us live here. We work, we recreate on these lands. They're sort of a core part of why we live in Utah, why Westerners live here, why Utah and many states in the American West are the envy of the nation.
The Supreme Court's decision may end this phase of the legal fight, but the debate of public lands in Utah is far from over. As the state plans their next move, questions remain about the future of these millions of acres. Reporting in Southern Utah, Cannon Sechrist, ABC 4 News.
All right, Cannon, thank you.